Am I the a-hole for accepting a big inheritance from my grandma and telling my dad him and his family are monsters like she said? My grandma died in 2024. I, the 23 months, had lived with her since I was 17 and had taken over a lot of bills and stuff in the last year before Grandma died, and it was sudden. I was also no contact with my dad and stepfamily. Grandma was no contact with them too. For background on why and how we got here. My mom left when I was only a few months old. She changed her mind about having me and left me with my grandparents, meaning my dad's parents. My dad was in the military at the time, and he retired after that deployment and took me home with him. Then my grandpa died a year later. So I don't remember him. My grandma continued helping out my dad. When I was 5, my dad told me he'd met someone and she had kids a little bit older than me and they wanted us to be a family. He got me really excited to have a mom and siblings. I don't even remember all the lead-up stuff, but the first time I was meeting them, I remember my dad saying our family was growing that day, and the first time we met went okay. But it was downhill after that. The second time we met my step-siblings, who weren't step-siblings at the time, ignored me, and when me or dad were mentioned, they had tantrums. We moved in together after that. So we'd met twice, and suddenly all lived together. Then the wedding took place a month later. It was very low-key, with hardly anyone there. But I remember my 2 oldest step-siblings pushed me to the floor because the 5 of us were supposed to be getting ready in the same room and waiting for the parents. But my step-siblings didn't want me with them. What happened at the wedding wasn't an isolated incident, and they bullied and abused me a lot. My dad and stepmom did nothing to stop it. They'd tell me it was hard for my step-siblings and they had lost their dad, and sometimes it made them a little angry, but they would never hurt me intentionally. Except they did, both physically and emotionally. My dad and stepmom started getting annoyed with me because I'd go crying to them about it. My grandma stepped in multiple times and tried to talk sense into my parents, and especially to Dad. He told her he had met the love of his life and wouldn't end the marriage for anyone. She pointed out that I needed him and had no one else. He said that was bullshit, and I had a mom now. Grandma said I would never in equal to or before the older kids who were my stepmom's bio kids. Dad said that's just how it works. Grandma said not with him, apparently, which Dad resented. Grandma tried to take me more to make up for it, but my dad and stepmom protested and refused to allow it because it meant excluding my step-siblings. Meanwhile, my step-siblings would tell me if I couldn't live with Grandma, it was sad my mom didn't get rid of me before she left Dad. My grandma actually called CPS on my stepfamily, and that didn't actually result in being no contact, which still surprises me. Nothing was done by CPS despite them saying my dad and stepmom needed parenting classes and warning if I kept getting hurt, I'd be removed. They made the threat, but did not follow through. Then came a day where we were all at Grandma's house. I was 11 at the time, and my step-siblings would have been 13, 14, 16, and 17, and one of them shoved me really hard because I wanted to sit in the only free chair and it was next to them. Grandma went off on them, which set my stepmom off. Then Dad defended his wife and stepkids. And it all came to a stop because Grandma called my step-siblings little monsters who shouldn't be allowed around other kids because they liked beating them up. Grandma refused to apologize, and as my dad and stepmom were forcing us all to leave, which mean forcing me to leave, Grandma said they were all monsters, and she told Dad he was not coming back from that moment. My dad and stepmom stopped me from seeing Grandma for years. I only got back in touch with her a week before I moved out. They called the police and tried to drag me back and accuse my grandma of abusing my step-siblings, but I got to stay and no charges came from any of the accusations. Back to today. When Grandma died, she had a strong will in place. She left my dad $100. That was the minimum she could leave him so he couldn't sue for the rest, which she gave to me. I got Grandma's house, which was my dad's childhood family home. I got the rest of her money, her and Grandpa's sentimental possessions, and she had some investments too. My dad tried to go after it, saying as her only child he should get everything, but her will stopped it. She left nothing to his wife or her kids.
So then they started contacting me, at first through lawyers and then on socials, saying I should be dividing it evenly and giving Dad what he deserves, then shaming me for accepting it when she excluded My siblings. My dad even tried coming to the house to talk, and when he started to shame me for accepting it when she disrespected our family, I told him she was right, and they were all monsters, and that they didn't deserve anything. I only made him more mad. And saying that is what I'm mostly questioning because I feel like I made my life harder. So am I the a-hole?